What are y'all talking about?
Why I didn't make an announcement that I'm in a relationship.
Is that what you were asking?
I'm asking about Shanice.
I thought you were
interested in Shanice.
I mean, I
Did
definitely
you say that's my wife? That.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Summer House Martha's Vineyard, Season 1, Episode 4. And before we begin, let me just say, let's take a shot every time Jordan says Playboy, Amir says Black and Lebanese or biracial, and Silas with, I don't want my wife getting free drinks from guys at bars. I swear we would all be passed out. But in all seriousness though, the last few scenes regarding Bria and Silas getting into that heated conversation, I was confused. What exactly were they arguing about at this point? How did we go from I want my boyfriend Simon to stay for a week to discussing Silas's preference about Black women only being with Black men? I was lost and I was like, okay, let's wrap this up. But I am very happy that we have some new faces. I told you all that I met Jason at the premiere party and he was very sweet. One of the only cast members who was lovely, okay? Because I told you guys in my live last week who was rude. But welcome Jason and welcome Summer. But with all that being said, y'all, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So this episode opens up right where we left it off last week, with everybody being shocked that Nick has a girlfriend. So they're like, wait, what? You have a girlfriend? Since when? How long have you guys been together? How old is she? Nick is still trying to play coy. He's like, you never ask about a woman's age, but she is younger. So we find out that Nick's girlfriend lives in New York and they've been dating, I think he said for like a year and a half. He also goes on to say that they met at a New Year's party and she's very private and they both don't post each other on social media. Now, let me just say this. There is a big difference between being private and being sneaky. I think that Nick is being sneaky. I don't buy this BS about, well, we're both private and we both don't post each other. It's just us. I feel like Nick is on some BS because the fact that you were in everybody's DMs prior to getting on this show and being in this house, and then when you first got here, you're talking about, oh, you have your eyes set on Jordan. If you have a girlfriend that you love so much, then why are you even talking about, well, if I want to pursue Jordan, I will, and Amir and Alex, watch out? That shouldn't even be coming out of your mouth. That right there is some BS, and I wonder how your girlfriend feels about this. I know that if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, we're done. Shout out to everybody. I have fun, but I will not sit up here and be embarrassed.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.
Absolutely not. Nick's whole story makes no sense. I'm curious to find out if he and his girlfriend are still together now. At the premiere party, I didn't see any girlfriend around him, so who knows? I feel like I saw Amir's girlfriend there at the party. But yeah, I would not be surprised if she broke up with him, especially after seeing this episode. So now it's the next morning and we see Shanice packing her stuff up because she has to go back to the city to go work. She's like, I have a new job. Unfortunately, it's not a hybrid remote situation, so I gotta go back to the office. Now, if you know like I know, Martha's Vineyard is not easy to get to. The Hamptons, all you need to do is just ride down the Long Island Expressway to exit 70 and you're there. A cute little 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. But going to Martha's Vineyard as a New Yorker, it's a ways to go. So to only be there for a weekend, I was like, damn. So as Shanice is finishing up her packing, she goes downstairs to join the ladies in the kitchen. So they're like, before you leave, girl, we're gonna take a mimosa walk in the woods. So they all have their mimosas, they start walking, and now they start talking about Nick. So Bria's like, I'm just so shocked when Nick revealed that he has a girlfriend. Now, mind you, Jasmine and Silas were already in the bed when Nick revealed this. So Jasmine's like, wait, what? When did he reveal that he had a girlfriend? He was just in your DMs, Shanice, talking about you're my wife. Then Jasmine goes on to say that Nick is acting like Nick Cannon because it's real shady of him not to say that he has a girlfriend, but he's in other girls' DMs talking about he wants to wife them up. But like I said in last week's recap, it's generally the taken men who are in a single woman's DMs harder than a single man. Okay, I'm saying this as a woman who is single and mingling, all right? It be the men with full-blown girlfriends in relationships and they're trying to spit game and it's like, wait, don't you have a girlfriend? Like, what are you doing? It's a mess. So I'm not too surprised that Nick is out here acting like he's single when he's really not. We also see the guys working out. That scene didn't have a whole lot going on. Then we see Shanice leave. I think we see Silas and Nick playing beer pong. And then we see Alex and Jordan in the house and they're blowing up the floaties for the pool. And I don't even know what they were even talking about. But Jordan starts talking about she never knows what Alex is thinking and she feels like Alex is always saying something sexual to her and she's not sure if it's because she was in Playboy. I said, I don't care what they're talking about. Jordan is going to find some way to bring up the fact that she was in Playboy. Girl, we get it. We got it the first episode. We get it now. I must have missed something in that conversation because I didn't hear any sexual innuendos when Alex was talking to you. And Alex barely says 3 words in each episode. So I'm shocked at how you think that he's just so sexual every time he sees you. Now, I guess production might be leaving it on the cutting floor, but from where I'm sitting, I don't see Alex saying anything to you or anybody for that matter, but I guess. So we flip right back to Nick and Silas playing beer pong. And Nick's like, look, Silas, can I ask you an honest question? Do you think that you're a bit controlling when it comes to Jasmine? So Silas says, it might seem that way, but it's not. It's just that I want to make sure that everything goes right, and I want to make sure that everything goes to plan. So Nick goes on to say that Jasmine is independent and she is able to make decisions for herself. So while Nick is giving advice, you have Silas blowing him off. Silas says, look, I'm not taking any advice from anybody who has a secret girlfriend. Like, please. And I said, well, that might be so, but Nick definitely did bring up some valid points. I think that Nick wasn't wrong when he said, look, your wife is a capable woman. She's independent. She was good before you. She'll be good with you. Like, she's fine. Just give her that space. Now, while I think that when it comes to people's marriages, you might have to tread lightly on giving your 2 cents about things because people do get touchy. So I can see why Silas got a little bit annoyed, but I do feel like Nick was being sincere when he said, look, bro, you might want to back off because you don't want to push your wife away. And Silas, you might want to listen because just last week, Jasmine was in her confessional talking about marriage is bittersweet and she doesn't know she can do this for decades on end. So you might want to just take it down a few notches. I'm just saying. Now, when we jump over to Preston, Bria, and Amir in the kitchen, Preston's making his mac and cheese, and they were talking about a whole mix of things. Bria brings up how she's still in shock about Nick having this girlfriend, and then all of a sudden we have Amir talking about how it's been hard for him growing up mixed and coming into this house. He was worried that he wouldn't be black enough. Then he starts crying and he's like, family means everything to me. And I was like, production obviously cut out a few scenes because I don't know how we jumped from talking about mac and cheese to Bria being shocked about Nick and his girlfriend to Amir crying about being biracial. And Amir, let me just clock you quickly because shout out to the best subscribers because y'all DM'd me on Instagram and you guys had the screenshots of your tweet talking about you're afraid of black females. And I'm inclined to believe that you might still hold those views. But Amir, I don't have much for you. I don't, and I have to be honest. And I hope that there is a reunion so that they can address your past tweets. I see that you deleted your account the minute that you were outed for having said tweets, but just a mess. And a lot of you guys on Twitter were like, if Amir brings up being biracial one more time, every single time Amir is in front of that screen, he brings it up. So now we see everybody in the kitchen, and Amir announces that for tomorrow's activity, they're gonna all go fishing. So Jasmine announces that her two friends, Summer and Jason, are going to be joining the housemates tomorrow, and she can't wait. So now at this part, we see Jasmine grilling Nick about his secret girlfriend. She's like, yeah, Nick, what's that about? They all told me that you're taken. So now you have Jordan calling him out as well, and then they both bring up how he was in Shanice's DMs talking about, you're gonna be my wife. So he denies it. He's like, I never said that. I never said that. And I was like, Nick, production showed your DMs and you were literally saying that you wanted Shanice to be your wife. Like, they have the receipts. So you trying to lie, you look even worse. Then Alex confesses that he knew the whole time that Nick had a girlfriend. He was just unclear about how serious the relationship was. Ladies, this is why y'all need to start dating like men, because a man can be in a relationship with you and still be looking for his dream girl, okay? Men have placeholders all the time. That's why y'all need to stop dating one man at a time and start building a roster, okay? Because men have rosters that you don't know about. So, again, stop getting caught up on just one man. Y'all better listen to Shira. Shout out to Shira, okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. I think what annoys me about Summer House Martha's Vineyard is that there are too many scenes of them just cooped up in the house. Now, I already told you guys the tea about they filmed this show in the off season in September, and a lot of places aren't open. It's not as crowded because everybody has gone back home, and it's now just locals there. But I feel like we would have more of an interesting season if we could film them during peak season. June, July, August. You get what I'm saying? But I think that's why this show seems kind of slow to start. But anyhow, it's nighttime. They're all getting ready for bed. And of course, we see Jasmine and Silas talking about Bria wanting Simon to stay with them for the last week. Then we see them having sex, and now I was really screaming because when they were done, Silas was like, wait, do they have those glow-in-the-dark cameras? Like, can they see us when we're having sex? And Jasmine said, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. And he was like, you know what? Oh, well, like, it is what it is. Now, I don't care about them having sex. I'm just surprised that Bravo, I guess, shows it. But then again, they do show them having sex on the original Summer House too. So I'm not really surprised. But on the original Summer House, a lot of the castmates have started having sex in the bathroom. So that way they can't be seen or heard. Now, we jump to the next morning. Everybody's getting ready for Amir's fishing excursion. And now we see Bria and Jasmine discussing Simon coming for the last week. So Bria's like, look, Jasmine, we discussed this already at the bowling alley. I told you that I wanted Simon to come and stay for the whole week because he's coming from Germany. It's a 13-hour flight, and I already told you this, like you knew. So Jasmine's apprehensive. She's like, well, look, Jason and Summer are coming today, and now you want to have your boyfriend stay the entire time as everybody else now? Like, I didn't sign up for all this. So here's where I stand about Bria wanting Simon to stay for the last week. Bria, I understand that, yes, you and Jasmine did talk about this at the bowling alley, but you have to be respectful. You are a guest, so you really can't have all these demands when you're a +1 yourself. Also, you have quite a few strikes against you. You have no consideration regarding your dog. You invited your crazy friend Phil, who made an entire ass of himself. You got Mariah kicked out the house, and now you want to have your boyfriend stay for the entire week. That's a lot. I personally feel like you should be willing to say, okay, look, can Simon stay for 3 days, and then for the remainder of the time, me and him are going to get a hotel. That's what anybody with common decency, any common courtesy would do. Like that old saying goes, fish and house guests start to smell after 3 days. I think she's pushing it, asking if he can stay for 7 days. Just my opinion. I do. But at the same time, Jasmine was getting on my nerves, pretending like she forgot what they spoke about at the bowling alley. Just say, look, girl, I remember our conversation, but Simon can only stay 3 or 4 days. That's all you have to say. Pretending like, oh, I don't remember this conversation. When did we say that? Jasmine, stop. So Jasmine doesn't really give Bria a yes or a no. She's like, look, me and Silas will discuss this with the rest of the house because we have to be fair. And I get that because you do want everybody to be comfortable. And it is a bit unfair to have one guest be able to invite all these people for extended periods of time when everybody else rolled up their solo. So I get it. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys. Watching them go fishing wasn't too exciting. I'm glad they all had a great time and bonded, but I wasn't too interested. Once again, bravo. If there is a season 2, I hope that you guys are filming them right now and not after Labor Day. This right here is prime time. But now we see them back at the house, and Jasmine's good friend Summer has arrived. Jasmine says that they bonded because they're both writers, and she loves Summer to death. Like, that is her girl. Summer seems cool. I have to admit, I don't remember seeing her at the premiere party. Maybe she was there and I just didn't notice, but from what I'm seeing on TV, she seems pretty down to earth. So Summer is super excited to be there. She says that it's her first time in Martha's Vineyard, and she's ready to get a lay of the land. Nick was already eyeing her. He was like, Summer is very well put together. She reminds me of Hillary Banks. Then you have Alex saying the same thing. And I think one of the producers was like, who's Hillary Banks? And I was like, wait, what?
Summer is well put together. She was definitely giving Hillary Banks.
She's giving me like Hillary Banks vibes.
You know who Hillary Banks is? No, it's okay.
You didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Like, one of the best and most iconic Black sitcoms? Like, and you're on a Black show asking who is Hillary Banks? I was like, excuse me? Now, they start talking about fraternities and sororities. We learned that Summer got kicked out of her sorority because she just didn't care. She was like, I wasn't attending the events. I wasn't being a good line sister, so they kicked me out and I'm cool with it. I was like, well, damn. Now, she said the name of her sorority. It wasn't AKA. It was something else. But I was just like, yeah, girl, you gotta go to the events. You gotta do the volunteer/charity work. You have to pay the dues. Go to the meetings. Like, it is like a part-time job. You can't be sitting up there saying, well, you know, I'm this or I'm that, and then not attend and be a good line sister. So I'm not surprised that she got the boot. So now we have Jason arriving to the house, and I've told you guys many times that I'm excited to see what Jason brings. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the premiere party. When I tell you that Jason is lovely, very sweet, very down to earth, very kind. And I told you, Jason, I said, now, if you show out in these coming episodes, I will have to give my honest opinion. And you said, okay, that's fine. I'm cool. So I'm holding you to it. All right. So don't sit up here cursing me out if I get on you down the road. But so far, Jason and Preston are my 2 favorites. And hi, if Jason's family is watching, because I met your lovely family too, and they were so sweet as well, okay? But again, y'all better not be mad at me if Jason shows out and I have to talk about him, okay? All right. But we learned that Jasmine and Jason used to be roommates in New York. So Jason says that being a heterosexual man, people would be kind of intimidated because it's like, wait, you guys are just roommates, like you're not doing anything else. So he says that he understands that people could have a side eye for him, but they were just roommates and they got really close as good friends. So we see that Jasmine is ecstatic that Jason's here, and now she's giving him a tour of the house. Now we see them all preparing for dinner, and they're doing a themed dinner. I think it was like a Grecian toga party dinner. So Bria's in the kitchen making some broccoli, and I forgot what she put on the broccoli. I think it was like lemon pepper seasoning on it. And when I tell you that Jason was like, girl, who taught you how to cook?
Oh no! Hell no, girl, now.
You seasoned it already.
Who taught you how to cook? We know who your boyfriend is now.
Now, if I saw Bria cooking anything, I don't care if it was broccoli or steak, I'd be nervous. Because we know that Bria does not watch over her dog, and I would be scared to death that there would be some dog hairs in my food. I'd be like, you know what, sis? Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna hit up Uber Eats or DoorDash. It's okay. So here's where things get weird. Bria lets it be known that she's upset with Silas, and now her and Silas go outside to talk. So Bria says, look, Silas, I spoke to Jasmine last week and you, and I let you guys know that I wanted Simon to stay for the last week. Like, you guys know this. I don't know why you guys are playing dumb and need to think on it. Like, he's coming. It's a 13-hour flight. We discussed this. So Silas reminds her of who the hosts are, him and Jasmine, and that they want to make sure that everybody in the house is comfortable. Now, honestly, I felt like Silas was dragging it. It's a yes or no question. Can Simon stay the whole entire time or not? Like, just answer it yes or no. So Bria's making loose threats about she's going to be so upset if he can't stay the whole entire week. And then she says, I feel like it's because of race. The fact that he's white, you don't want him in this house for a whole week. So Silas is like, wait, are you serious? You think that low of me that you would pay me out to be a racist? So Bria brings up the conversation that happened earlier in the car, and she points out that Silas is biased because he only wants black women to be married to black men. So Silas denies saying that. He says, I never said that. He said that that's my preference, but I want to see black women married, period. So I don't care who they get married to. So now at this point, they're both getting heated, and now Jasmine comes out. Now, mind you, they're still going back and forth. Bria keeps harping on what Silas said earlier. Silas denies it. He's like, again, for you to paint me out as a racist when I work with men of all different races, like, how dare you? Jasmine's trying to calm them both down. Then you have Bria shouting about how Silas is raising his voice at her. And I'm like, how did we go from can Simon stay for the whole week to black women should only get with black men? Like, it just felt like they were both putting on for the cameras. And I was just irritated. Like, I had checked out of this whole argument. It was just so stupid and so pointless. Also, for me, honey, I'm an equal opportunity employer, all right? I don't care what Silas or anyone else had to say about it. Like, I wouldn't care. So I don't even know why Bria was so pressed about what Silas said, because I wouldn't have paid him any mind. Because why does Silas's opinion matter? I wouldn't care. I'm still date Simon and Brad. Like... So while they're outside going back and forth, everybody else is watching in the kitchen and they're all confused. Amir is breaking it down for them, and he's like, yeah, we all thought that Simon was going to stay for 3 days, not 5 or 6, because that's a lot. And again, if you're a guest, you have to abide by the rules. And that is a long time for somebody to stay. I think that it would be better off for everybody if Bria had Simon stay for 3 days, and then for the remainder of the time, they both stay in a hotel. And I don't know if it's just me, but one thing about it, you will never catch me begging anybody. Like, I'll be damned if I'm begging somebody to allow me or a loved one to stay somewhere. Like, I have no issue with whipping out my Amex and saying, you know what, that's cool, I'm gonna stay at a hotel. Like, I'm not groveling or begging I'm not doing that. So this wouldn't even be an argument because I would say, okay, well, he's going to stay for 3 days and the other 3 days we're going to be at a hotel, but we'll hang out with you guys for dinner and lunch. Problem solved. But I'm not going back and forth begging and pleading for my man to come and stay the whole week. I'm not doing that. And also, if Simon has the coin that Bria claims that he has, then him getting a hotel for 3 or 4 days shouldn't be a problem. And again, sis, y'all are filming in the off season. So the hotels in Martha's Vineyard in the off season are quite reasonable. So we see Bria storm up to her room. She's talking about she's leaving. She's packing her bags. If her man can't come and stay the whole time, then she's gone. I was like, Bria, can you shut up? You know good and damn well you're not going anywhere. Bria is very aggravating. She acts like a petulant child. I'm like, girl, you have to grow up sometime. My God. So now we have Silas coming up to Bria's room and he wants to talk it out. So he's like, look, Bria, you want your significant other to stay for the entire time. That's a long time. So Bria's going on about how Jasmine and Silas have each other and how they have sex every night and everybody hears them and how she can't F her dog. I was like, girl. Well, I would hope not. So Bria and Silas keep going at it, and at this point, nothing is going to be resolved. So Silas says, Bria, you know what your problem is? You're manipulative, calling me a racist, like how dare you? So they keep going at it. He storms out of her room, and then Bria calls him controlling and says, that's why you control Jasmine. And that's where the episode ends. Now, I saw on Twitter, Preston gave his 2 cents where he said that 2 things can be true. What Bria said about Silas is true, and what Silas said about Bria is also true. Again, I was so over this argument because, one, I was confused. I said, okay, how do we go from A to Z? I saw that the opinions on Twitter were split down the middle. Some people thought that Silas and Jasmine were doing too much. They felt like they don't own the house. They're not paying for this rental. Bravo is. So why can't Bria just have her man over for the whole entire time? I get that. But at the same time, Bria has been given a lot of leeway. She's had many guests come in. She's had somebody kicked out. She's had her dog running around wild. I feel like at this point, somebody needs to put their foot down with Bria and say, you know what, girl, actually, no, you can't do that. That can't happen. Just in my opinion, I feel like Bria has had free reign of this house. And also, like I stated earlier, if Simon has all this money, then getting a hotel for the remainder of the time should not be an issue. To be completely transparent, I don't have a dog in this fight, pun intended. And I'm not that invested in this whole beef between Bria, Jasmine, and Silas. I'm really not. So I honestly don't care what ends up happening if Simon stays the whole time or doesn't stay. But what I will say is that this argument did not have to go off the rails the way it did. Like, it went from 0 to 100 like that for no reason. But in any event, I'm excited to see what Jason and Summer have to bring. I think that Jason's going to bring some drama. I know that he gets into it with a few people, so we're going to see how that goes. But I'm happy that we have some new faces. Hopefully they can bring some life into this cast because the vast majority of this cast needs to be swapped out, in my opinion, if I'm being honest. And that's no shade. But y'all, that was my recap. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.